Hey all, Heretic here, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Now, normally when we make these videos, we're talking about guides and strategies and news and all the things that affect the battlegrounds. But today, we're going to try to figure out if AI is a threat to the battlegrounds community. So what I've done is I've contacted an AI specialist. They have asked a series of questions to AI, and I have not seen these questions nor these answers, and we are going to respond to these live. I'm going to look at the question, I'm going to give a really brief answer, and then we're going to see what AI says to see if it's the threat we're afraid, or at least the news says it might be. So, question number one. What is the best strategy to always win in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Well, I mean, typically that's what? Play tempo, get the best statted minions, look for synergy in your hero power, and anomaly. Pretty simple, right? Let's see what the AI says. Oh wow, this is a lot of information. This is more than I thought. Let's just hit the highlights and see what it says, because obviously some of these will apply, but winning consistently in Hearthstone Battleground requires a combination of strategic thinking, adaptability, and a good understanding of a game's mechanics. Here are some tips to increase your chances of success. Stay informed. Keep up to date with the information. Okay, I like that. Economy management. You want to be careful how you spend gold. That sounds pretty good. It says, hey, look at that right off the bat. It says rerolls. Avoid excessive rerolls early on. I mean, that is good information. Prioritize minions with good, strong stats. Look for opportunities completing triples. I mean, this thing, it knows the basics. Adaptability. Be willing to change strategies based on the minions you find. I mean, so far, so good. Tribe synergies in the early game. Yeah, I mean, this is great. Positioning. Place minions strategically to maximize their effect. For example, put taunts in front to protect valuable units and position buffs like Baron Rivendare in or Sword of Justice to benefit the right minions, right being the right side of the board. Okay, there's a little wackiness right there. We lost us at positioning. Everything seemed good until we got to positioning. I mean, I'm just gonna say all of these sound really good, with the exception of perhaps the Sword of Justice in Baron Rivendare. I think the AI kind of nailed it. These are the most common questions you get from people in this regard. So right off the bat, question one, pretty good AI. Oh, here we go. Question two. What is the best hero in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Well, I mean, wow, subjective, right? Anomaly, all the hero tribes. There's so many things that could come into play with that one. So let's see what the AI says. Oh, okay. Well, first of all, it gave us a paragraph again, so I'm going to paraphrase. You know what? I'm going to post all these images and blow them up as much as I possibly can, because they are written very tiny. But as the last of his knowledge was September 2021, the best hero in Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Okay, we're going to skip all that. Let's look at the list. Ragnaros the Fire Lord. His power deals 8 damage to random enemy minions at the end of your turn. Okay, that's a weird. Oh, first of all, he did have that hero power somewhat, that it would do 8 damage to a random minion, I believe. I'll have to look this up, but okay. Well, wow, never the strongest, but okay. Yssar's the Defiler. His hero power allows you to buy a minion in Bob's Tavern. Immediately gain a gold coin, effectively give you an extra roll. Well, hold on a second. So it gives you a random minion in the tavern, it sounds like, and you get a gold coin. So does that mean they're free? Yeah, Rag didn't say anything about a cost. That means Yssar's just became all powerful. Here's what Yssar actually does. Okay, sure, AI. Dancing Daryl gives a hero, his hero power gives a minion +1/+1 for each minion you bought during this turn. I mean, more or less, it's not horribly wrong. That one's a little weird. I like the new way they do Dancing Daryl versus the old way. This is something weird, so we'll see. Cthulhu the Shattered. Okay, first of all, I like the name. I want that to be a skin of Cthulhu. Cthulhu the Shattered. His hero power allows you to give a friendly minion stats equal to those of another minion, which can be incredibly powerful in the right circumstances. You think? It's like, oh, I can take my best minion and just move his stats over? Once again, no cost. Looks to just be free. N'Zoth the Corruptor. His hero power allows you to get a random minion from a previous combat. This can lead to strong boards, especially if you faced opponents with a powerful... Wait, does this mean I have to keep a 7th slot open at all times? And then I will get a random minion from not even the last combat or anything like that, from a previous combat. So does this... I'm going to say it's going to be from the last combat, because if it was from all your combats, it wouldn't make any sense. But wow, this doesn't sound good until the very late game. And even then it's random as hell, because if you have a giant board with a giant stats, but they've got one buff slot, you know it's going to give you the buff slot one every time. And is it always positioned in the 7th slot, the 1st slot? I have so many questions I want answered. Elise, her hero power allows you to discover a higher tier minion. This gives you more options and could lead to a powerful mid and late game transition. Well, I mean, yeah, once again, no cost. You just hit your hero power and you discover from a higher tavern tier. I'm tiering every turn. Just gonna keep tiering, guys. I'm sorry. What's the strat with this one? I tier a hero power. I tier a hero power. AI, I don't think you know much about the actual heroes in the game. I just want to say that you say you have knowledge from before September 2021, but none of these have ever existed in quite the method you're telling us. That's definitely a miss for the AI on this one. Oh, okay. This question I have asked all the time, and it is such a hard question to answer. How do I know when to tier in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Well, I mean, there's no one answer for that, right? What turn is it? How much gold do you have? How much health do you have? What's your next opponent look like? What's your board state? What's in the shop? What's the anomaly right now? I mean, ooh, okay. Let's see what the AI says. Okay, the AI tells us, knowing when to tier up in Hearthstone Battleground is crucial for maintaining a competitive edge. Here are some general guidelines to consider. Early game, Tavern tier 1 to 3. Tier 1, what? In the first few turns, focus, wait, 1 gold? Is it 1 gold to tier 2 tier 1? Are you automatically tier 1? Do you only have 1 gold to start? I'm confused. Tier 2, 3 gold? I have so many questions about these numbers. This is very cheap. I'm assuming, wow, and they get cheaper every turn like they do now, I'm guessing, because there's no way for us to know what the AI thinks. And if the AI knows what the game is, wow. Look, okay. I think right off the bat, right now, I can tell you AI doesn't know how to answer this. Once again, I'm going to post this here because there's a lot of information and some of it is very interesting, but yeah, at least the numbers are horribly wrong. I do think the strategies and the hero specific things are, for the most part, not bad, but the amount of gold it's telling you makes no sense to me. It just sitting here looking at it going, what do you mean, AI? Thank you. Swing and a miss. Here we go. This one is actually subjective. So the AI doesn't have to try to give us information. It's just telling us what it thinks. So what's the most fun anomaly in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Let's see what these anomalies are it gives us. Well, okay. So first of all, it's called Bartender Bob's Brews. This anomaly introduces a unique twist to the game by offering players a selection of 3 drinks at the start of their turn. Ooh, each of which granted a special effect for that turn. Hold on a second. This just sounds like an interesting mechanic they could put in the game. Like, we've already had tickets, we've already had buddies and all in quests and anomalies now. This sounds like this would just be a mode for the game. So basically you're going to discover from 3 of these randomly every turn. Okay, I mean, I'm on board already. Let's see what we get. On the house, this drink allowed you to upgrade a random minion in the tavern for free. That's pretty cool. I mean, you get offered this, you say, oh yeah, my shop's all tier, say you're tavern tier 4, and everything in the shop except for 1 is tavern tier 4. Not a bad one. You might get a 5 out of it. You know it's always going to hit that tavern tier 3 1 to make a 4 for you. It's never going to hit the 4s to make a 5, but not bad. Served in bulk. With this drink, you could buy 2 minions for the price of 1. Well, I mean, this already is an anomaly, right? Where you get to do that, but this is for purposes of this. It's kind of interesting. So basically, yeah, the first minion you buy is free that turn. Okay. Refreshing beverage. It refreshed Bob's Tavern for free, essentially giving an extra roll without spending gold. Free refresh, makes sense. Bottomless mug. This drink lets you buy as many minions as you wanted from Bob's Tavern during the turn. Interesting choice. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's Togwaggle's hero power right there, right? Or no, Heistbear. Yeah, it's Heistbear and Togwaggle's hero power. You just get the shop. It doesn't cost any gold. You get the whole shop. I like that one. Of course, I'm never going to get to discover that one, but my opponent will every turn. A simple reroll. This drink allows you to reroll the minimum pool once for, wait, the minion pool once for free. Wait, isn't that already refreshing beverage? Wait, You've made 6 brews, but you've copied 2 of them? Just given them a different name? Okay, we gotta go back and hit 3 or 5 over again, but no. Chilling Winds, if it froze all minions in Bob's Tavern, making them available for purchase again next turn. So I'm going to assume, for this to make any sense, that the freezing option is gone from the shop in this system, because we already have the ability to freeze. So that must mean in this method of playing, the only way you can freeze the shop is if you take a Chilling Winds. Okay, let me know what. Call me intrigued, AI. I'm actually going to say this could have been a mode already. This is interesting. I'm going to say a solid point to AI. Game designers, look out. You're in trouble. They're already kind of, that's creepy. That's better than some of the things I've seen already in the game. And next we have, who was the most broken hero of all time in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Wow. I mean, there was a couple at the time. Tyrion, I think, was probably the most broken. Tyrion's, and I know now this won't scale at all, but when Tyrion was in, he was busted good. And I think his hero power was 1 gold, give all neutral minions +1/+1. And there was a lot of cards in the early game that were pretty powerful. I think there was a 1/2 neutral minion with Divine Shield. So you just immediately just start buffing that. If you get a couple of them in your shop, yeah, you get a lot of tempo. And back then that was a meaningful buff. Now, yeah, it actually would just kind of fit in the current game or be slow potentially. But back then that was pretty damn strong. That's my answer. Let's check theirs. Okay, here we go. We have actually a small list of them. We have Professor Putricide. Let's see. His hero power Rage Potion gave a minion in Bob's Tavern +10 attack for the turn. I mean, this actually was pretty close to what I believe Putricide's hero power was. It's going to be right up here on the screen now showing what it actually was, because I don't remember. That was a while ago. They reworked him so many times back in the day. But that's actually pretty close to what he was, and it wasn't that good, it turned out. Another hero who was widely considered extremely strong was Mayav's Shadowslong. Her hero power in prison, which is accurate, allowed her to move a friendly minion to the leftmost position, essentially providing additional opportunity to trigger powerful effects to protect key minions? Wait, couldn't I just move? It's a friendly minion. It's not like you moved your enemy minion to the leftmost position, which would be broken as hell and what I expected. You could move your own minion to the left? I don't know how this is strong, but sure. That's what it has for these, but I think Maiev is a joke. Putricide is actually frighteningly accurate to what it was at the time, and it wasn't powerful. Newsflash there. I'm going to say these are not what I expected considering some of the other questions we've been dealing with. All right, next we have who is the worst hero of all time in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Wow, that is a tough one. There have been some really bad ones in the game. Sylvanas, I believe, used to remove a minion. Just outright remove it. Just kill it, and it would give its like +1/+1 or the stats to I think it was +1/+1 to the adjacent minions. That was pretty bad. Then Bartendatron, I think, was the other really bad one, because I think it reduced the cost of Tavern Tier by 1. And that was just way too slow. No one ever wanted to play that. Those were mine. Let's see what the AI said. All right, the AI thinks Queen Wagtoggle, her hero power Wax Warband, gave a random friendly minion of each type +2 attack for the next combat. I'm gonna say that was pretty weak, but you know, they've reworked Wagtoggle a number of times. I think that might have been one of the iterations of Wagtoggle's hero power. Yeah, pretty damn weak because it does not scale throughout the game. So you gain some attack temporarily because it's a combat buff, and then that's it. Ugh. Then Guff, Rune Totem, Natural Balance, allowed you to choose a minion in Bob's Tavern and add 2 copies of it to your hand. While this could be useful for certain strategies, it often required a condition to be truly effective. What? Okay, allowed you to choose a minion in Bob's Tavern and add 2 copies to your hand. That means you get a triple every turn. How is that weak? That's probably the single most broken hero power I've ever heard in the game. You literally target a minion in the shop, get 2 copies of it, then you buy 1. Now, it doesn't list the cost. I don't care. A triple every turn is broken. That would be amazing. Worst? Best. Test Greymane. Her hero power, Bob's Burgles, allowed her to discover a minion from your last opponent's warband. That's Scab's hero power. I mean, that's the name of Tess's. Oh wait, no, Scab's is your next opponent's war, but that's still not, it's much weaker than Tess is, but it's not bad. It's a reverse Scab, okay? That's interesting, but not the weakest, I would say, by far. I've seen a lot weaker than that. Shudderwalk, okay, Shudderwalk has been redone so many times. It depends which version they mean, but Burbling, give a random friendly minion +1/+1 after you play an elemental. Okay, I mean, while this is, I know, first of all, we don't know the stats on a Burbling. Is this something on your board or just your hero? It must just be your hero power then. But that means you just have to play elementals. I mean, to say this is one of the weakest heroes, there's already a lot of heroes who are, very focused on a tribe. I think it's not interesting, but it certainly could work. You just have to play elementals. Nefarian, his hero power draconic strategy gave your opponent a random minion after you play 3 battle cries. This power was seen as too situational and reliant on specific conditions to consistently to be consistently effective. What? Wait, so I play 3 battle cries and my current or previous opponent, either way, gets a minion? How is this good? Yeah, okay. I'll give it a credit. This is probably the weakest hero power ever. You buy battle cries and it gives your opponent a random minion. Wow. Okay. All the credit to the AI. Not real, but very, very weak. I'm going to give the AI credit for this one. These are pretty good weak ones. It's an opinion-based question, so we can't really hate the AI for what it's coming up with here. But wow, some of these are way off. I mean, Guff. That is just, oh my God, amazing. Oh, wow, I want to play Guff. I want to play this Guff. Blizzard, can we have Guff, please? Guff Rune Totem for president. What the hell? I want this thing. All right, next we have, what is the most controversial anomaly in Hearthstone Battlegrounds? Oh, God, well, there's a lot of those. I mean, this is very opinion-based, so let's see what it says, though. All right, we're going to start. All right, so Boomsday Anomaly. Boomsday. At the start of each game, players were offered a choice of powerful minions known as Omega Busters. So that sounds vaguely familiar. These minions had extreme high stats and unique abilities, making them much stronger than typical early game minions. So they're like tier 3s? I'm just, okay. However, they were also very expensive, costing 4 or more gold. All right, well, what if in turn 1, there was an 8 gold minion that was just called Omega Buster? Would you freeze every turn to have an Omega Buster? Probably. Just buy all the mechs in the shop. I mean, so that's just an example, but this one, not excited about this one. The controversy around how dramatically it shifted early gameplay dynamic. If it costs 4 or more gold, first 4 isn't really that much, depending how crazily statted in ability these minions were. It kind of sounds like tier 7 minions, maybe. Or if I could just use the name Omega Buster, like a card we've heard of. Okay, AI, I don't care for that one. Let's see the next controversial one. Oh, it looks like we're going to get more questions about the Omega Busters next. Okay, what did these Omega Busters do? Can you list them? Well, I mean, I can't. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to say one of them summoned, I don't know, 6 1/1 mechs, and if there wasn't room for them, it gave you a buff equal to the number there wasn't room for? Just a guess. That's all I got. Okay, we start with Omega Buster tier 4. Mind you, these start on your board at the beginning of the game. Tribe mech, 9/9. At the start of combat, deal 9 damage to the enemy hero. Okay. I mean, I now know where the controversy comes from. 9 damage directly to the hero would piss a lot of people off. Okay, and that's the tier 4 one. Tier 5, mech, 16/16. So we've gained 7 stats to go up 1 tier. Doesn't say how much they cost. At the start of combat, deal 16 damage to the enemy hero. What the? Okay. And then tier 6 mech, 30/30 at the start of combat. Yeah, you got it, folks. Deal 30 damage to the enemy hero. What the hell? Yeah, I can see why this anomaly was very controversial. Please, if anyone from Blizzard watches this, do not put this one in the game. We have no idea how much these cost. We just know their stats and what they do. I lost my mind at the first one, dealing 9 damage to the enemy hero directly. Let's not even talk about the 30. Oh my God, that's horrible. And the stat lines alone are amazing on these things, let alone the fact that they do direct damage to the hero. Please, we don't want to see any mechanics of direct damage to hero unless you give us a hell of a lot more health. We want the games to go longer, not shorter. I have to say, AI, since we're just talking about the Omega Buster in this one, I have to give you all the credit for making something that sounds very controversial and at the same time almost stupid enough to have actually been made. Good job. So that's it. That's what we have. This is the threat to Hearthstone Battlegrounds in the form of artificial intelligence. Do you feel threatened? Do you feel like your game is about to be destroyed by this intelligence? Well, I have to say, some of these are ridiculous. Some of these are crazy powerful. Some of the things we saw today are crazy weak. Some are stupid as hell. But at the same time, we've kind of seen all this stuff already in the game. Are game developers in trouble? Are we just going to switch to an AI system and have just a couple people in charge to check the box on which one's going live? I'm a little concerned. I would be if I was one of them right now. These are not bad. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. This was a fun video. It was very different from what we usually do in news and guides. Just sit back and look at what AI can come up with for the game. If you haven't, take a look, go play with the AI software, throw in some prompts, and you really can get some bizarre things. Thanks for watching all. I hope you had a good time. And I want to thank my associate who came up with the idea to talk to AI and see what we can come up with. Captain, appreciate it. Everyone, you have a great night. I'll see you in the Battlegrounds. Later.